5, 4, 3, and welcome everybody to yet another fantastic episode of G&G Podcast. My name is Gato.
My name is Gabe.
And together we make G&G Podcast.
Welcome to the real world.
Ah, man, this is the real world. Sometimes I wish it wasn't.
Life's a video game.
Oh, yeah.
Matrix.
So, dude, when I noticed last time you switched up your lighting in your office. Now you got a little bit of a red background.
You like that red? With the blue highlight?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I like it.
Budget went
really
up.
Good. See, mine's kind of backwards, sort of. But yours is a little bit more mysterious, and I can't help but wonder, are you doing this because this is going to be the new look? Or is this a Spooktober special?
Spooktober. I like that. Yeah. We'll see. I like the red.
I think it looks great. I think it looks so good. And I think you should keep it.
Thanks. Yeah. Maybe I will. I considered doing purple, but then I like the contrast between the red and blue.
Yeah, it looks really good. So I'm gonna be fixing up my room. So like I told you a minute ago, I just ordered a new desk, and I think I'm gonna be getting it tomorrow. So I'm gonna be rearranging this office yet one more time. I'm getting some shelving for the background. You know, where I'm gonna have all my Legos. Yes, I am a 33-year-old man with Star Wars and Lego and no Star Wars and Marvel Legos. Wait, did you say shame?
No shame.
Oh, no shame. Yeah, man, no shame. Dude, Legos are they're like gold.
Yeah, I saw your Hogwarts Lego thing you had. That was pretty cool.
Wait,
that was Hogwarts, right? I know you have like a castle Lego in your living room.
Oh, it's not a Lego. That's actually not a Lego.
Oh. Whoops.
That's just a 3D puzzle.
Oh, those are awesome.
Yeah,
I had one
really
of the
cool.
White House. I don't know where that went.
Ooh. Did you also have a big UFO that shot a blue laser at it and blew it up?
I should have blown it up. Now that it's lost, I might as well blow it up.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, anyway, I'll be rearranging, and I think my colors are going to be purple and blue. You know, I'll kind of go for that neon aesthetic.
Cyberpunk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's what I like. That's what I like to hear. Yeah. No, that's the aesthetic I'm going to go for. I thought I wanted to go also like red or blue or something, but I saw a couple of pictures of offices with the purple light, the neon stuff, and I was like, yeah, that's what I like. Like, that's what's more me. But speaking of change of tone and lighting and Spooktober, I feel like we got some stories for you today. Between the two of us, we're gonna tell you our spooky stories because it's that time of the month. And what else are we gonna talk about if it's not spooky stories?
Yeah, Halloween, scary, seances, bringing back the dead, right?
Wait, is that what you were talking about?
No. Yeah, I would never mess with that stuff. Have you ever done that? What? Okay, let's start with that one.
Okay, so I'll be starting it then. All right, let's. I can't change the lighting because it's too far away from here. But, okay, so let's. I'll tell you about.
Was it just one of those like, hey, let's do this, like in the movies, and then something bad happens?
I mean, yes and no. So I'll tell you. Okay, so this first story is actually not. This is not the scary part. This is just what I think brought all the scary parts to my life. But and I can't remember very well if I was in I don't know if it was second grade or third grade, but this was in Mexico because I elementary and part of middle school I lived in Mexico, so can't remember if it was second or third. One of my friends brought a Ouija board to school to play like during recess, and I mean I didn't know what it was. I wasn't educated in those.
You just saw borrowed letters and numbers.
Yeah, and I was just like, what is this? And they're like, oh, this is how you speak to ghosts and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, is it real? And they're like, yeah, it's real. And like we're kids. I was what, 5 years old, 7, 8, 10. I don't know how old you are when you're in second grade. But I didn't think any of it. I was just a dumb little kid. But during recess, we went to a little corner, like a little darker corner of the school, and we all just kind of gathered around.
It's always the corners of the school. That's where all the bad
and
stuff
then
happens.
we started taking turns playing it and asking questions. And as kids, we're asking stupid questions, and they would do even dumber questions like, does this girl think you're ugly or think you're cute or whatever? I don't know. And that was like the extent of it. Like we didn't really go into too much depth, or like we didn't ask dark occult questions
in this
or anything
room
like
right
that.
now.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't ask anything like that. It was all more like, who likes who, or
As if ghosts
does this
will
person
know.
Huh?
As if ghosts would know.
I mean, maybe they could. I don't know.
Unless they were listening into like conversations.
Right. Yeah, so that was that. But after the fact that I played the Ouija board, and the thing is that I don't think we actually closed the game like you're supposed to, or at least I don't remember that part. I did start getting a little bit more into like the whole like ghost stories and whatnot. But after that is when I started to notice all the things that happened. And that's when a lot of other stories would make sense. And so here's I'm gonna go past to the past, and then I'll move back forward.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, did you hear that?
I heard that.
Wait, no. What was that though?
That was like a perfectly timed laugh too.
Wait,
Yeah, it was a
who
ghost.
laughed,
Don't worry about it.
What? All right.
You don't see
cool.
that ghost behind you? I see it on camera.
Dude, how scary would it be if there's actually something behind me and I can't see it on the camera, but there's like someone back there.
Oh, that'd be creepy.
Yeah, that'd be super creepy. No, okay, so there's one of the first ghost stories I heard. It was from my brother and my parents, actually. Well, it was my parents, but this is when I was a little baby. I think it was like, 1 or 2, maybe.
Okay.
And my brother was like 6 or 7, and apparently he woke up in the middle of the night and started screaming and crying, but like loud, like like not the usual crying or anything like that. Plus he was a little bit older.
Like hysterically crying?
Yeah, like really bad, like scared, crying
geez.
and stuff like that. So my parents tell me that they went into the room to check up on him, and he was just sitting on the bed, and he was pointing at the corner of the room or the wall or whatever, and he was just like, that man in black, he wants to take me, please don't let him take me. Like he was just screaming that, and he was like wide awake. Like it's not like he was like having a nightmare and that was his memory. He was awake, and he looked at my parents, and then he looked at the wall or the corner of the room and said, that man in black wants to take me, please don't let him take me. And so my parents are like looking around, they're like, there's no one in here. dude, I'm getting chills already just thinking about the story. But anyway, they went and like calmed him down, and he was fine. But and nobody ever took him. But that is like something that. So my brother doesn't remember this, but both my parents do. And so it's kind of like, all right, so there's like one of the first experiences that we as a family, like between my parents, my brother and me, like experienced, I guess, in my lifetime, I should say. But so now going back to the future.
Love that movie.
Not a sponsor. But okay, so my brother has this experience when he wakes up, right?
Yeah.
And then I go and play with the Ouija board when I'm in 2nd or 3rd grade. And then when I'm in 7th grade, so this is a little bit later, but when I'm in 7th grade, so classrooms in... Ow. Sorry,
Ghost.
No. I'm been attacked. No, in 11th grade, when I was coming back, so we have like 3-4 classes or whatever, then we have a recess, and then we come back into the classroom. Our classrooms were gosh dang it, I can't think of the word. Like our hallways were outdoors. You know what I mean? Like it's not like one big building with hallways inside
portables?
And then you go through different. No, not portables. It's just the building is the rooms, but when you step outside of the classroom, you're not going into a hallway within the building. You're going into a hallway outside of the building. But
I think I know what you mean. Yeah.
You're still within the school, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, this one time, I was walking back to the classroom. I went in and got, sat in my chair. And then I'm like getting my books or whatever, and people are coming in and out. And then I'm looking outside. So the outside of the room, you have the door, like at the edge of the wall, and then you have a bunch of windows that go throughout the entire room, on one side, that you can see outside. So you can see all the kids running back and forth, going to their classrooms. And so as I'm looking out at all these kids, I see this like shadow. It's like a 3-dimensional shadow. Big,
a 3-dimensional shadow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So see.
Right. Yeah.
Explain it?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So my hand shadow. Shadows on the wall and stuff like that.
Yep.
So picture that, but instead of being against something solid, it's like floating. It's like something that you could put your hand through or something like that. But I see this shape of a man. It's a black shape, black shadow.
Is it the same shadow that your brother saw?
I don't know.
Okay,
but
all right.
It was very, very distinct. It's a very distinct memory that I have too. But I see this thing just moving, kind of like it's gliding.
I can't handle that.
And I see it moving, and then it stops at the door. And so that's where I see like the full shape. So it has like a body, it has like arms and a head.
Yeah.
It doesn't have like features, like facial features or anything like that. It doesn't have eyes. It looks just like a shadow. But when it stopped there and I was looking at it, trying to figure out if what I was seeing was true, I felt it looking at me. I felt this.
Shoot.
There was like this like pressure, like in my body. It was like there's this. I don't know. I honestly don't know how to describe it. But I like besides saying like I felt its gaze. Like it realized that I saw it, and so it like stops. It sees me. I feel this terror. Like this terror just fills me, and like the thing vanishes. Right? It just kind of like disappears.
Fades. And
I just like I lost it. I started crying and screaming. Well, not crying, but or maybe that. I don't know. It's a long time ago, but I remember
how old
freaking out.
Were you?
This was in 7th grade.
7th grade. Oh man. I always wondered how
so like 13, 12 years old.
It just faded into the background.
It just kind of
Was it like a cross dissolve, or was it a?
Yeah, actually, honestly, yeah. It just no, because it became like something just grabbed it and just went.
Oh, it just like a quick cut, or was
No,
it
no, no.
a?
Like like if you have like cotton
Yeah,
and you grab it from both sides
right,
and then you
right.
just like spread it
Oh,
and then
right.
just kind of like
Okay.
that's kind of what it looked like to, or at least that's what I remember.
Hmm.
Um. So yeah, I got sent home. I never saw it again, but sometimes I still get those feelings of the gaze. It's not as bad because it's not like I can see anything, but yeah,
Have your parents seen
that's
it?
no,
It's only you and your brother, huh?
no, but um, there were stories from other people later on. This was here in Utah. We would tell stories back and forth, and then someone told me one of their stories and described what they saw, and it was an instant recollection of what I saw. And it turns out that these shadows and stuff are like known to appear to people in general. Like they call them shadow people.
No, there's an actual
Yeah,
term for this.
yeah. You can look it up. And so I've googled it, and it legit looks like it. It's
Shadow
creepy.
people.
Yeah.
Shadow person. Oh, oh, oh. Jeez. Okay. You know, this reminds me of a story. So I had a roommate, and we shared a room. I was in the top bunk, and he was on the bottom. And then one night, I wake up middle night, and I just feel like terror. I feel like freaked out about something. I don't know what it was, but I was like scared. And so when you're really scared, you just don't want to open your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I didn't want to open my eyes because I was afraid what I was gonna see. So I'm just like laying in my bed, blankets like that, and I'm like frozen. I didn't want to move. And then all of a sudden, I felt the blanket like lift up, and I felt someone slide into. And I
Shut
was
up.
like, I freaked. I just started praying in my head. I was like, please, please go away, please go away.
Uh,
And so, thankfully, I just like stayed there, and I fell asleep. The next
um.
morning, there's more to this.
Okay.
Next morning, I told him about what happened, and he was like, he had his own experience. He just like froze and it looked like at the corner of the room, and he was just like staring. He was like, "Oh, something happened to me last night." I was like, "What?" And so he said that during the night he heard me groaning from the top bunk, and I was like kind of like moving around or whatever. And he said he saw in the doorway looked like, a shadow person, a woman, but
Really?
didn't have a face. It was just like scribbles. You know, like when you scribble on a paper?
Yeah. Like yeah.
That's what her head was. Just like a scribble.
Do uh, do you need any more proof? That's
Okay,
exactly what it looks like.
okay, yeah.
That's weird though because I've never heard a story where someone like feels it like more than just a presence, but like you physically like have the sensation of it like doing something physical. Uh, everyone that I've talked to that has had an experience with shadow people, it's usually like yeah they feel them like seeing like they get filled with terror, but
Mm-hmm.
it's usually just a visual thing. But yeah, like if you go to Google and you just type in shadow people, um, there's this like
I mean, there's a
uh
Wikipedia photo here.
oh you got it. Are you able to pull it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna show it, dude. I can do it.
All right. I mean, there's a couple of pictures here that have like, like the shadow and it shows like two white eyes. I didn't see that. I don't see eyes, and everybody that I've talked to they don't say that they see eyes. It's always yeah, yeah. So like that picture that you pulled up, um, that's kind of what they look like, just like dark, almost almost see through. Or I mean, they are actually like see through, but it's just like a really dark shadow, and it just moves really fast.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing I didn't see it, but like, there's like I could count, on my hand, like the number of the times that I felt like you wake up and you just feel weird. You kind of like scared and freaked out. And so now I'm like, okay, it's just in my head and I'm freaking myself out. So I just try to go back to sleep. But apparently, I guess it might be a real thing and not just in my head.
yeah, but I mean, I haven't heard of anybody like getting, possessed or killed or anything like that by these things. I think it's just one of those things where you just happen to see it. I don't know. I have no explanation for it, but it is one of the most terrifying things that I've ever experienced in my life.
Have you felt that before? Like the fear aspect?
Like that?
Yeah.
No, that was. I don't think I've ever felt it that strong, while being like fully awake. Because like in nightmares, you can a nightmare
Right.
you can feel it, but it's a nightmare. But yeah, I was fully awake. It was the middle of the day. Like that's the thing. It wasn't even like midnight or anything like that. It was freaking like 11 a.m. or 12 a.m. p.m. Sorry. It's broad daylight.
I guess
So
that
it's
makes
like,
sense. Like, why is there a rule that ghosts can only show up during
yeah,
the night?
exactly. And that's my point. Is like, I feel like if you have any doubt of the validity of the story, I mean, besides the fact that you just told me a story that is not exactly, but extremely similar to mine, as far as like what your, I'm sorry, was it your friend or was
Roommate,
it your?
yeah.
Oh my heck! Cat's making noises. I'm getting scared over here. um, yeah, something that your roommate saw that I've seen something similar, and other people have seen similar things. So it's kind of like,
Yeah. You can't dispute
I'm
stuff like that.
I'm wondering like if any of our viewers have seen what we call a shadow person, or if you know someone that has told you a scary story that is similar to this. And if they have, let us know. Let us know if you've seen it or somebody else has seen it. Tell us your stories, because I also want to hear those. I'm all about ghost stories in Spooktober.
I have a story from someone I know. So this is a viewer submitted story. I'll just read it off.
We already got a story.
We got legitness.
All
Okay,
right.
so this one says,
let's hear it.
my sister's best friend Sherry died of leukemia, and she was very upset over it. We shared a bedroom in the basement and had bunk beds. Bunk beds again. There's something about bunk beds. I was on the top bunk and woke up in the middle of the night to my sister talking. I asked her who she was talking to, and she told me Sherry. I said Sherry died and wasn't here, and she replied, yes, she is. She's sitting right there. I looked down and she was wide awake and pointing to the end of her bed. I jumped down from the bed and ran up the stairs. Is it freaking you out now?
How old were these people?
I'm
Do you
guessing
know? Do we know?
probably their 30s or 20s.
I already
20s.
went through my 20s. I'm in my 30s now.
Or maybe it was younger. I don't know. I didn't really ask about age, but I'm surprised that the sister was just like nonchalant about it, knowing.
Yeah, it's like, no, she's right there.
Right.
And it's sitting at the like on the bed where she
Yeah.
was lying.
Like, yeah, we've been playing cards for the past hour. Like, I don't know. I can't imagine being awake and then figuring that, oh, this person shouldn't be
Is
here, but
dead.
they're here.
Oof. Yeah, it's creepy, man. Especially if you have such a strong interaction with them like that, like where you can just like sit there and look at them and say, "Yep, you are here." That
Yeah,
is
right?
very strange.
Because I think
But
in.
then I
Go ahead.
no, you go, Grant.
Because in like dreams, you know when you're dreaming, and
Yeah.
then somehow you can like wake yourself up. So in that
Yes.
moment, that'd be like you see somebody at the end of your bed, you'd be like, okay, you're dreaming. Your first thing to do is like, I need to wake up. And so you wake up. But this one, you're like, well,
Yeah. Like
I'm awake.
time to go. Dang. Yeah, that's creepy, man. Um. Shoot. Well, I mean, the closest thing to someone seeing someone while they're awake was actually my little cousin. Um, and I hope I'm remembering this story correctly, and because I'm pretty sure this is like it happened in a specific timeline, but it was when my great grandma died. She lived in Chetumal, I think, or in Chiapas,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere down like South Mexico, right? And my cousin, who was I honestly don't remember how old he was, but he was little. Uh, okay, if I remember correctly, like he was in his room, and then my grandma was in the house with him, and then he like came out of his room, like calling out for our great grandma, and then my grandma was like, "Hey, what are you doing? Like, who are you calling?" And then he was like great grandma was just in my room. She was saying goodbye, and then she walked out, and I just wanted to like go give her a hug or something like that. But what had happened is that my great grandma had passed away like the day before,
Oh.
and he didn't know that, but everybody else did. And so it was kind of like a, oh well, I mean
There
she
you
passed
go.
away, so maybe she did come, and just came by to say like goodbye. Uh, so like this is not really a scary story, but it is kind of like
It's a heartwarming,
ooh,
scary story.
ooh, ooh. Heartwarming, scary story. I like that.
Oh
Yeah,
man. That's
but
crazy that she picked him out of all the people.
well, maybe it's because he was like the most innocent, because he's like younger.
Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah.
Meanwhile, everybody else is just a freaking sinner. And he's like, I don't visit sinners,
Oh,
so that she goes
there's
and
like
visits the
rules that these spirits have. You
Yeah,
can't.
yeah. It's like,
If their sinner level is at 30, you can't visit them.
oh no, oh no. Gotta start getting myself some redemption points here.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I've heard some stories like that. Like I have a friend that apparently he sees like ancestors all the
really.
time. I think he had one story where he woke up in the middle of the night and he had a chair at the end of the room and he just saw her there. And he wasn't freaked out. Okay, so I think maybe that could explain like that person's sister. You know? I think in those experiences you wake up and then you see it, but then it doesn't connect yet, and so you're not freaked out. I think when it really happens to you, you don't get freaked out.
Hmm.
Maybe. I don't know. And then when you do, it's
It's.
probably evil spirits.
I mean, that's actually a possibility. My brother-in-law, he's like sensitive to this kind of stuff, and he's told me like how he's seen like ghosts around his house, and he knows like where they hang out and stuff like that. But he's like, yeah, but they're not like evil spirits or anything like that. They're just kind of around, like, um, and they just kind of hang out in some places. Some of them don't even know that they're dead. Like they're
Mm,
just roaming
Sixth
around. And I'm like,
sense status.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I feel like that kind of makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
if you go into a state of denial when you die, like your consciousness, then I can see how you could just kind of remain on Earth, not knowing and not because you're not willing to accept that. And so then you start spooking everybody else that lives around here.
I mean,
But
I
oh
would
my
think you'd
goodness,
figure it
Ken.
out. I mean, if I died in my sleep and I wake up the next day, I'd be like, all right, time to get on my computer and work. I'm like, oh, I can't type for some reason. Oh,
And then you start typing, and then people around you are like, "The computer's possessed." There's a ghost.
right?
It's like, isn't there like a TikTok or like the guy has like passed away and somebody moves into his apartment, but he's like, "Who's leaving all these lights on?" And he like keeps turning them off, and people like start screaming. And he's like, "These plates are not in the right place," and he starts like taking them out and putting them somewhere else, and people start screaming as well.
I haven't seen
I
that
mean,
one. That's a good one.
I know it's funny, but I'm like, what if that's really it? What if like, whenever there's like shut doors or anything like that, it's not like them trying to scare you. It's just that they really don't know, and they just happen to be like, why is this door open or why is this door closed?
That's creepy. That's creepy on
Or
both ends. Being the
yeah,
dead person and a live person.
yeah, that person that doesn't even know that they're dead, and they're just like, what is going on here? Like, that's
Jeez.
funny.
At least I know this house is not haunted. I believe we're the first owners. Oh, that looked like an angry growl your cat made.
Nah, she's fine. She's fine. She's purring.
Oh my gosh. You think animals haunt people when they're dead?
Hunt?
Haunting?
I don't think so.
Like your cat opens
Like,
the cat food and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, someone's eating the cat food.
she's my late cat's just coming back for seconds.
See? And the cat doesn't know it's dead either.
I actually wonder about that. If like animals' spirits would go through that kind of
Let's see.
stuff. Like,
I'm gonna look it up. Haunting animals.
there probably is.
Animal ghost. Are there animal ghosts? Let's see. Paranormal. Is it possible for someone to be visited by their dead animal? Do you know any case where this has happened? We have a ghost cat. Oh, apparently it's real. We have a house that is good for letting us know where the cats are due to the loose floor bands creaking and their claws on the wood affect flooring downstairs. There is also broken tile in the kitchen that every cat we have ever lived with will always step on their way to the kitchen as it's only straight line between the door and the gap in the sideboard cabinets. Most people step on it too, so no matter how many times we fix it, it always becomes a terracotta cat detector again. It clicks reliably for each cat that enters in the kitchen. You can see it rock back and forth on the crud that collects underneath as they do. Ooh, okay.
Wow. All right.
I guess
Well,
it does.
I
Yeah.
better be nice to my cats then, just in case.
Better give us some extra food.
I don't think I've ever been visited by cats, but then it makes me wonder, what if like things falling off the table and stuff like that, it's just my previous cats just, like
Pushing stuff. Yeah.
yeah, man. I mean, you never know.
I see. Yeah, that seems to be a common one where they hear
Things
walking upstairs or noises.
that is actually another one of my experiences.
Hmm.
And so my parents' house, I think it's haunted. And not haunted in the bad way. I just think there's like ghosts and spirits there that kind of like linger in the area. Like, okay, so you lived there for a bit. Did you
Oh,
ever?
that's the one we were roommates in?
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
Did you ever hear or see anything in the house? I mean, you
Nope.
were only there like what, 5, 6 months? Wasn't that
Probably,
long,
yeah.
was it?
I don't remember.
I
I
don't think it
mean,
was
I would
that
hear
long.
it walking upstairs, but I would assume it was your parents.
Okay, right? Okay. So before, um, especially in the mornings, I feel like the mornings were the most active. So my dad's an engineer. He goes to work every morning. You know, he leaves at like 6 in the morning, comes
Yeah.
back 3 p.m. My mom used to work for a. She used to do uh, like phone call service, like customer
Call
service.
center type stuff.
Sort of like she like yeah, it's like a call center, but it was like it wasn't customer service. It was more like sales, but
Okay.
like people called her
Cold
to
calling.
buy things. Yeah. So anyway, the point is she used to go to an office, but every now and then she would stay home. Um, like her staying home instead of going to the office was pretty common. Um, but so my mom, uh, she's one to like just yell out my name when she's upstairs and I'm downstairs because my room was in the basement. But my mom would just call me, Isra, and I'd be like, what? And she'd be like, come upstairs, and I'd be like, all right, and then I go upstairs and then whatever. But there's plenty mornings when I would hear steps, like not like faint steps, like you hear the steps, like people just walking around. Uh, but a lot of the times nobody was home, and
No way.
there was one morning where I clearly heard my mom calling my name more than once too. This wasn't like a one time thing. I heard her call my name twice, and I was like, "What?" And I just heard my name again. I'm like, "What? Like, ¿qué quieres?" You know, like, well, "¿Qué pasó?" Whatever. And there was like no response, and so I like went upstairs because like, and I'm all annoyed because I'm like, like you're calling me and I'm responding and you're not saying anything. Like, what do you want, kind of thing. So I go upstairs and I'm like, hey, mom, and I go into the room and there's nobody there. I go into the other room, there's no one there. I go to the backyard, no one there, and I'm just like, hello. And then I go up front, like outside, and I look for her car, and it's gone. And so like I realize that she's not home, she's at work, and I was like,
Oh man.
I legit heard her calling my name.
Twice.
And
Right?
yeah, twice. And so yeah.
Jeez, did you like
I mean,
run out the house?
well, I was already outside, but yeah, it was really freaky. Um, so that was like the most auditory experience I've ever had. Is like
Or in the house?
yeah, in
That's
the
so
house.
scary.
And the thing is, like, again, with this one, I didn't feel scared. Like, obviously, it scared me after I found out, but during the calls and during the like when I heard steps and knockings and stuff like that, I never really felt like scared of anything. It was just more like, oh, there's noises, you know, it could be a ghost, but I'm like, meh. But there's other situations where like with the shadow person where I felt terror, like I felt just really afraid,
And it was during the day too.
and it was during the day.
Damn, that's scary.
Yeah, man.
I was trying to see if I've ever had any experiences like that. Mine were all like nighttime. Never had it during the day.
Really.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call on the ghosts to haunt you during the day.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Not allowed.
All right. Stand down. It's okay.
Oh man.
But you gotta. I feel like you gotta.
I think I do.
How many stories did you have? How many stories do you have? 3.
I have one from Brittany, and she told me this one. This
Okay.
one I was kind of like, I have my reasons to doubt it, but I don't know. Maybe other people out there have had experience like this. Maybe you have. But the stories that this is the basement of her grandparents' house, and apparently it's haunted. She says it. I don't know if it's true, because I went there during the day to help move stuff and I didn't feel anything. But anyway, haunted basement, and this basement has a living room, and so she was in there with I think her sister or some relative friend. They're watching TV, and they had this toy box in the back of the room that like stores all their toys. And there's this toy in there. It's like a duck, plush that sings Old MacDonald, had a farm and then quacks. So it kind of looks like this. And so it's a duck. I think you can press the hand and then it makes the sounds. And it was battery powered. And so they were watching TV and it made the quacking sound, that stuff. Like, oh, okay, we need to probably turn that off. So they open the toy box, get the toy out, and it has one of those like battery packs that's plugged in.
Mm-hmm.
So then they unplug the battery pack and then put it back in the toy box. So in the middle of the night, they're in their own rooms. All of a sudden they hear Old MacDonald music and quacking.
What?
Right?
What?
And so they got out of the rooms, looked at each other, and they were like, wait, we unplugged it, right? Like, yeah. So they checked it. It was unplugged. What do you think?
I mean,
My
could
theory.
be a
Capacitors
short.
probably store batteries. I don't know.
Yeah. Like it's just some sort of residue battery left in it. I don't know. Like
Right? No, that's what I was saying. But at the same time, like it's been unplugged for a long time. Battery can't last that long, could it?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Haunted.
But I
objects.
feel like I can't disprove it, obviously. But so when things happen, I always like to think that there's some sort of explanation for it, like normal explanation. And in fact, in have you seen The Conjuring, the original?
The first one?
Yeah.
Like, wait, is the newer ones a remake?
No. Like the original Conjuring from like 2006
Oh,
and
no.
2008.
I think so. I may have. I'm not sure. There's
It
so
takes
I
place
get
in
them
like
confused with like what's
Insidious.
Insidious. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
confused with that
okay.
one.
This is with Elizabeth Warren and Ed Warren,
Mhm.
who are actually like demonologists or something like that. Anyway, so in that first movie,
Isn't that the same as Insidious as well? Oh, wait a second.
no, in Insidious, they're just a regular family, and they do call a medium to communicate with
Could
the
have seen
dead.
that
But
one. Yep.
yeah, but anyway, so the original Conjuring, and this is not a spoiler, so if you haven't seen this movie, don't worry about it. So Ed and Lorraine Warren, who are like specialists in the occult or whatever, um, they get called to all these houses, right, saying like, "Hey, there's weird noises. I think it's haunted." And so they go and check it out. And in the movie, and in real life, but in the movie, they specifically say like, usually there's natural explanations for the things that are going on. And they go to this house and they figure out that, it's just like pipes making weird noises because it's an old house. And that's one of the reasons why I really like this movie, is because it actually goes and says, hey, not everything's got to be a haunting, and not everything's like a spirit or a ghost or whatever. Um, and I like that approach, and this is something that my mom told me too. She's like, there's always got to be, or always look for the scientific or the physical
Explanation for it. Right?
explanation for things before you jump to conclusions.
Yep.
But if there's no explanation for it, that's when you're like, huh. Which is why, like, with noises in the house, I'm like, okay, well, it could be just like wood cracking or something like that. But the voices, my mom calling out to me, have like a very distinct voice, that is something that I can't explain. I don't know why I would hear her like it wasn't me hearing things. This happened more than once, so that's something I can't explain, and that's creepy.
I think it was
Now,
a
with the
window
battery-
was open, probably, and it perfectly opened and closed to make it sound like your mom speaking.
Nah. Yeah, same pitch, same everything, right? With Britney's story, I mean, I can't say that it wasn't something paranormal, but I can also assume that it could be some sort of I don't know, what did you call it? Like the reserve
Capacitors or
power, yeah,
yeah.
capacitor, something that just kind of sparks a little bit of power and makes the sound go, or the toy get activated. So,
Wow,
but
apparently Reddit has
what do
like
you,
have dude, there's listings on eBay for haunted objects.
really? I
Yeah.
would not buy any of those
There
things. No
was
way, man.
there's an article,
No way.
The Weird World of Haunted eBay Purchase with Caution. Oh geez,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. That's
No, thank you. Um, have you had like experiences like that? Like
haunted
with like
objects?
toys or yeah.
Nah. I
I
usually
don't
have an explanation. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anything like fly or get pushed or anything like that.
I've seen my share of videos of those, which is pretty crazy. Like there's this one that was it's like a kitchen video and things would start flying and then people started breaking it down. It's like, oh, you could see the string or whatever, but I could never tell what the final verdict of it was, if it was true or not.
It's kind of like you have to kind of come up with your own conclusion.
Yeah. Oh man, why would you want to buy? Okay, I'm gonna show this picture right here. Why would you want to
All right, what do we
buy?
got? What do we got?
Why would you want to buy a scary photo like this? Hold on, let me.
Scary photo.
So it's like an eBay haunted 16-inch spiritual doll vessel, supernatural, paranormal power. Okay,
Oh.
all right. Don't get too freaked out. All right.
All right, I'll try not to. Bro, that is. I don't like looking at that.
$5,600? I don't
Yeah,
believe
bro.
it.
$5,600 for that doll without eyes? No thanks. That is one thing that I do have a phobia of it is dolls.
Yeah.
Porcelain dolls freak the crap out of me. And then those little dolls that like open their eyes when you lift them up. Dude, those things are creepy AF. Like they just stare into your soul when they open their eyes, and then they make noises like, "I want you to hug me," and then they have their eyes and just go.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah. No, no, no.
yeah. So no, I do not like dolls. I do not like porcelain figurines. No, they're freaky, man. Like I don't want to have that in my house.
Oh,
I had a oh your in-law,
huh.
Colton.
Okay.
When he moved into the house where he is right now, the main bedroom had a case full of dolls. It was like those shelves that have like the window doors
Oh,
or
yeah,
cabinets
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. So there's one of those right in front of the bed, and it was filled with dolls.
They left it there?
Well, he left it there for a while.
Okay.
And I hated going into his room because he had all those dolls just staring at us, and I'm like, nope.
Oh, man.
I do not like this. It's just, nah.
Had this one. Would you buy this one? Haunted Vintage. Antique Evil Active Possessed Witch Demon Doll. Buyer beware. For $100. You want to pay $100 to get scared?
No. Well, I mean, I have before, but no. Like at haunted houses,
Oh,
dates.
yeah.
You take
That's
a date to a haunted house. It's like $80. And then you gotta buy comfort food after, so it's about $100 to get scared. Yeah. Yeah, no.
There's a
Do you ever-
comment
do you ever-
on these
on the eBay thing.
on the people that review like the product. That's it. Let me see. Let me show you right here. I'm disappointed that nothing happened. You've had the item for less than 24 hours. Things take time.
They do. They do. It's never instant. It's always gonna take a little while. Um.
Let me see. There's another one here too. Not haunted. Not sure how they ensure spirits go to the good people. She is as described. It takes time. Please be patient.
My gosh.
Oh,
You have to wait at least 90 days, which is the grace period for returns.
you have to wait till June 6th, 2006.
That's when I graduated.
June 6th?
Mm-hmm.
An evil day? Oh, man.
June 6th of 2006. That was my graduation day.
Did they make that at least a theme of your graduation?
I wish. No, but a lot of people were freaked out, and I was just kind of like, okay, but it's 06/06 2006. So it's kind of like, yeah, is it really an evil day? But
2006. Trying to
I mean,
remember.
yeah, granted, there's six sixes in it, but yeah, it's fine. Nobody died that day. I don't think so.
That's good.
Did they? Did someone die? No, I don't think so.
I'm sure
Yeah.
someone died that day. Rest their soul.
I think we would know. I think I would remember that if somebody died that day, but like for my class or something. You have any other stories?
I think I may have told this one in our previous podcast when I was younger, when we were in New Zealand, and the whole family, we would watch TV shows downstairs because the TV was downstairs, and we would watch a movie or TV shows, and then I didn't even notice, but we would hear footsteps on the ceiling, and I was thinking it might have been, like, I didn't question it. Like, my parents, I'm pretty sure my parents were freaked out, but they didn't want to freak us out, so they never brought it up. But I remember distinct, like, hearing it. You'd hear like doo, 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 and then we would look up and then just like carry on with the movie. So I don't know.
I don't think you've told this story.
No? Okay.
No, this isn't stuff. It doesn't sound familiar, but it sounds really freaky.
Yeah.
It was the hobbits. They were taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Like, I think about it, I'm like, man, how did I not think of... How did I not get freaked out? I think the concept of it never... When you're a kid, you never have the concept of, like... You never connect the dots of, like, oh, there's something there that shouldn't be there. Because we did get scared of, like, the basement. Like, when the lights were off, we were freaking out. But I think that was because, like... That was, like, a childhood fear, you know, the typical darkness and all that stuff.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, when I was a kid... I mean, obviously, like, with the Ouija board and... I didn't really understand what I was doing. But there was... So I have a lot of experiences with sleep paralysis. And this is not necessarily paranormal because there's a lot of like scientific explanation for it. But I used to get a lot of... Like, I've had hallucinations before. Where you see things, but like... I remember in one of them, I was in my room, and I get the sleep paralysis, and I'm trying to wake up. But then I looked at my door, and there's this little girl. And it was a very typical image. So it was like a girl in like school uniform. And she's
Ooh.
just standing. She's
Kinky.
just standing at my at my doorstep, and that was freaky. The second time I had it, it was super weird because I started having a nightmare, and then within my nightmare, I got sleep paralysis. So it's like I became conscious.
Okay. Yeah, I've had that before.
So okay, so you know what sleep paralysis is, right? Okay, so real quick, for those people that have not heard of this before, sleep paralysis is when your mind wakes up, but your body is physically asleep. So you're conscious, you're awake, and in fact, if your eyes are like open or something, you can see around you, you can think, but you can't control your body. So it makes you feel like you're like
Frozen.
trapped. Yeah, frozen,
Yep.
and you can't wake up. It's a terrifying feeling. But sometimes that's all you get is you just can't move until you fully wake up. But there's a lot of records where people see things. Some of them hear things. I don't know if people have felt things before. I haven't, except for the one time that it's this one right that I'm going to tell you. But I was having a nightmare, and that went into sleep paralysis. So then I was aware that I had had a nightmare, but I was awake now, but I couldn't move. And as I'm trying to wake up, I actually start feeling quite literally this pressure on my body. And I remember seeing like some sort of like ghoul, I guess you could call it. I don't know what else to call it. It was like it wasn't very pretty. But it was on top of me, and it was like pushing me down. And so I'm freaking out, and I'm trying to wake up, and when I wake up, my dad is there. My dad's standing there, and he's the one trying to wake me up. So I wake up, I see him, and I freak out even more because it's dark.
Yeah.
And so I start freaking out, and he's just like, wait, no, like, what's going on? What's up? What's happening? And I was kind of like, oh, it's just you. Like, there's this monster, like on top of me, and that was the weirdest, most bizarre, most scary transition from nightmare to sleep paralysis to waking up that I've ever had.
Damn.
Oh my gosh, the lights just turned out by itself.
Yeah, my lights were flickering earlier. That kind of freaked me out.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, so I had those, and then I had a lot of just normal sleep paralysis, and then I had two more visuals when I was older. One was actually both of them were in my room at my parents' house, and one of them I heard breathing, and then I saw what you would describe as death. Black robe with skeleton hands approaching
Scythe.
me, breathing.
Yep.
I didn't see a scythe, but
Oh.
might as well have a scythe on the other hand, right? But
Right.
I thought I was gonna die that day. I had a legit thought that this was it, and I started praying, and then I finally woke up, and I was just drenched in sweat, and it was early morning too, so I just kind of went outside and walked around for a bit to kind of like cool down and calm down. And the last time I had a visual sleep paralysis was also in the same room. And I got it, and at this point I've had it so many times, I'm just kind of like, here we go again. Like, I gotta just like relax my body, breathe in and out, and then sort of like jolt myself out of it. But this time around, I saw a lady at the foot of my bed, like crawling up onto my bed.
Oh my gosh.
But
the ring
she was-
style?
Yes, but she wasn't ugly in the face. She looked human. She was very pale, like so, just bright white teeth, smile, and then like bright red lipstick. So like think of
Tilda Swinton?
maybe. Yeah. So you know how in Insidious the ghosts are just like sitting there and they're like creepy and they're just kind of like smiling.
Yeah. Oh,
They're
yeah,
pale
yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah. So kind of like that. That's what I remember. And it was just kind of like crawling
my.
on top of my bed. And so I started kicking, and then I woke up. And yeah, that was the last time I ever saw something from sleep paralysis.
My
so
cousin
people
had
say-
something like that.
Really?
He said because we had summers and we slept like on the floor together, and he woke up, paralysis, looked up, saw black figure, red eyes, staring at him, staring down
Yo.
at him.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, visual stuff. There's a lot of people that say that it is in fact like not just a dream, but that it could be like an interconnection to the spirit world. Other people say that it really is just hallucinations. Like scientifically, it's just your mind playing tricks on you, because it's like
You're
your
still in
mind
dream state.
your mind Yeah, it's like it freaks out, and so it starts shooting images of things to make up for why you're scared. So it's kind of like you're not scared from moving, you're scared of this thing, and it's bam, it pops it right in your face, kind of thing. At least that's some of the stuff that I've
That
read
makes sense.
on sleep paralysis, and it does make sense. But I don't think that there's a way to prove it 100%. I think it's just a theory. But again,
Still
I haven't
scary.
heard of anybody. I haven't heard of anybody getting hurt from these things, so it's kind of like take everything with a grain of salt. But yeah, man, these are some good stories. But yeah, people, if you have stories, tell us your stories. I really genuinely want to know all of your ghost stories. They're like my favorite thing. Like I remember getting together with my friends late at night, before technology was a thing, and they would just tell ghost stories. It was the best.
Please, we want to know your stories. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have sleep paralysis, so let us know in the comments.
Think it's more common than I thought. But anyway, thanks everybody for listening in today on this spooky stories on the GNG podcast. If you liked our content, please go ahead and give us a big thumbs up, like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. What else did we say?
Wednesdays around 7, we release new content.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday.
Hopefully.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening in. We'll see you next week. Stay spooky.
Peace.
Peace.